Hi everyone, it's Kerry from Lewellyn Life Designs, and today I thought I would pop on and do a VR, my very first VR, to Kalianah's Corner, decks I cast aside but love. So this is all about decks that you, maybe at the beginning of your journey into tarot and oracle readings, you absolutely loved, and then as your collection grew, as you got more and more decks and you got sort of more confident with reading, your style changes a little bit, and you realise that actually your old favourites may have been sort of cast aside, and it's kind of all about like going through your cupboards, looking to see what you have, what you used to love, what you still love. And so I found 5 decks that I absolutely love, and I'm going to start using them more and more often. So let's get into it. Okay, let's move the crystals over to the side. So the first deck is a tarot deck, and this is the Anna K Tarot. And this is a really lovely deck. It follows the Rider-Waite-Smith tradition, but it's just so lovely. Like the expressions on the faces. A lot of people think it's quite an ugly deck, you know, because you can get such beautiful decks these days. And lots of people think, oh, you know, the faces are a bit ugly, you know, they're not all body beautiful. But actually, the messages that I got, look at that Judgment card. How gorgeous is that? And the sun, not a naked baby in sight, which I love. It really is an absolutely, oh, it's in order, apart from the first few. It really is a really gorgeous deck. Let's go through and see some of the minors. Yeah, I mean, look at that. You can see all the characters' faces. You know, if you wanted to, you could sort of really delve into what this person here is thinking, you know, journal about it. What about this person here? You know, like the people here in the crowd even, you know, this lady here, what's going through her head? You know, why is this person leaving? What's going on here? Is this her mother and father? Is she leaving her parents? Is she leaving, you know, a relationship? Is this somebody that she's been in a relationship with and she's leaving that? You know, it's just so gorgeous. And the faces are real. You know, they're not all completely stunningly beautiful. You know, there is darkness in these cards. I love this knight. He's one of my favourite ever Knight of Cups. But they're gorgeous. Really gorgeous cards. And this was the first deck I started to read intuitively. So yeah, really fond memories of getting this deck, falling in love with it. I edged it black, although you can see it's sort of coming off with excessive shuffling. So I don't really know when I bought the other decks that I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the Osho Zen Tarot. And it's called Tarot, and it does, like the book does tell you what it links to, you know, what the suits are and everything. But I use it more as an oracle because it's got keywords on it. And when it's got keywords on it, it kind of throws me if we're talking tarot, because I can't use my intuition as much as I'd like to. But they're absolutely beautiful cards, really beautiful. Like the artwork is stunning. I look at that suppression. Look at them bound up down here, and all these grey clouds above them. And then look at the inner voice. You know, it's gorgeous. You can see that that's the 3 of Cups. You know, angel there. It's just really lovely. Really lovely. I don't really read guidebooks, so I can't say too much about it, to be honest. But yeah, it's a gorgeous deck. I do get really good, look at that, isn't that gorgeous? I do get really good intuitive readings when I do use this deck. It's very good for like deep diving into spiritual sort of aspects of your personality. You know, there's very spiritual cards here. Look at that Lover's card. Really gorgeous. You know, all about tuning in. You know, this looks like sort of ancestors or guides coming through to help you. The sort of deepness of the emotions involved. Really so beautiful. I mean, that even almost looks like a photograph, doesn't it? Yeah, really lovely. I'm 100% going to get this deck out. Yeah, definitely going to start reading with this deck again. Yeah, this is a card that upsets a lot of people, as you can imagine. Schizophrenia. I have looked this up in the book because I was like, how do I read that? And it's more about choices, like not knowing which choice to cling on to. I think they really messed up with the naming of this card, actually. But everything else is just stunningly, gorgeously beautiful. Look at that. Yeah, really, really love this deck. Really love it. So that's the Osho Zen Tarot. I haven't edged this, but this would look really good edged in black as well. Okay, like I say, I don't know when I got these. Now this was really near the beginning of my tarot journey. It's the Lewellyn Tarot, and it's all based on Welsh mythology. And I have a lot of Welsh in my family, so that's why that kind of appealed to me. And also, I've trimmed all the edges because they came with this thick sort of yellowy border right round. So I just left the titles on the cards. But I absolutely love the kind of watercolour artwork in this card, in this deck, sorry. Really gorgeous. And this was the first deck that I actually read with professionally. When I very first started my business, you would have had a reading from this deck. I just absolutely loved it. Got the horned one instead of the devil. But yeah, it's really beautiful, and it brings out really deep emotions. I think because of the watercolour, it's quite a watery deck, you know, it's an emotional kind of deck. It's really Celtic. All the majors are linked to a story in Welsh mythology, which I really love. And yeah, it's really easy. It's very Rider-Waite-Smith, really easy to read, and like I say, just so beautiful. Really gorgeous. I'm definitely going to get this back out and start using it more often because it's stunning. Really gorgeous. Another one I got fairly at the beginning of my sort of tarot journey is the Sasuraibito Tarot. And this deck as well was one of the ones that taught me to read intuitively. It's another really gorgeous one. I mean, look at that Eight of Cups. Letting go of what you don't need anymore. What's holding you back? Just cut it off. You don't need it. Let it go. Really gorgeous. Really bright images. This is the first indie deck I ever bought. And I got this from Little Red Tarot. Just gorgeous. I mean, you have to read this intuitive. Well, no, I suppose, no, you don't have to at all. But, you know, it really calls for intuitive readings, I think, this deck. But yeah, really lovely. Really, really special, this one. Just different, you know, it's just so different. Look at that, the Six of Pentacles. Look at that karmic line, you know, that cord tying these two people together. The emotions released at the moon. It's just all gorgeous. Look, the Nine of Cups, just appreciating yourself, growing, watching your growth, finding your heart center. Yeah, just really, really lovely. Oh, I hope that's carried on recording. Please have carried on recording. It just came up saying my battery was low. So that's good. I won't waffle on too much longer, you're thinking. Okay, so this is the only proper oracle deck that I've got in my favourites list. And this is one that actually got me started with tarot. This is called the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck by John Holland. And this is actually, you can see how this relates to tarot. So there's no court cards in this deck. There are only majors and the minor cards covered. So this is the equivalent of the High Priestess, for example. So they do have name changes. This is the equivalent of the Magician. Oh, look, this would be the Ace of Cups. It's quite easy once you know tarot. It is quite easy to kind of understand these cards and where they come from. But what I really like about this deck is that because I know tarot now, I can work out which card is which and all that. But it's obvious, like, choose wisely. The Seven of Cups, that it's all about decisions. Which hand are you going to go with? Which direction are you going to go in? It's this would be the Devil. It's really, really good, I think, for like beginners, people just getting into tarot, people wanting to get into tarot that maybe only read Oracle at the moment. I don't mean only read Oracle, because Oracle cards are incredible and give amazing insight. But yeah, I just think it's a really good bridge across. And for a long time, when I sort of realised which card was which, I'd sort of think of this image, like this is the Six of Wands, for example. They're all colour-coded as well, so you can sort of figure out which is which. In fact, I think actually the guidebook's really good, and I think actually the guidebook even says, well, obviously this is the swords, the Ace of Swords, and I think it would actually say that the blue is the Ace of Swords. This is Pentacles. It does actually go through. So yeah, really good, and I absolutely love this deck to bits. John Holland also has a Psychic Tarot of the Heart, and recently, about 6 months ago, I bought that one as well, because I was getting a lot of questions about relationships, all that sort of thing, and that's a really good deck as well. But this one just cinches it for me. So I hope you've enjoyed my little walkthrough. If you'd like to do a VR back to Kalianah's Corner and myself, that would be really good. Just tag us in the information box. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all soon. Lots of love. Bye.